We are one of the nation's largest online retailers of fishing tackle. We're a niche retailer. Our expertise is selling tackle online. We stock tens of thousands of products at our facility. We're an authorized dealer of all the major tackle brands, the national brands. We also specialize in kind of unique and hard to find tackle items. We also do a little bit of building our own product, and that's an area where we're expanding our own product lines. We're somewhat unusual. Guess we do it the hard way compared to what we just heard about. We own all of our own technology. We write our own code. We physically own the servers that we run on that are in a co-location facility. In Pittsburgh, we manage them remotely. But we have total control over the way our systems work, the way our hardware works. We're actually looking at moving on to a cloud system like Google Cloud Platform to move off the physical hardware, but we still own the technology, the database structure, and all the code that runs our site. Part of that, I think, is just from the fact that we started early, watched a lot of places come and go, a lot of technologies come and go, and so we're somewhat skeptical of relying on other people for some of our core requirements. We started in 2000 in the very relatively early days of e-commerce, when our major competitors were not online. Amazon was selling books only. We're now in our 5th location. We're located in Fairview, just west of Erie, where we have both our offices and our warehouse and distribution facility. So in 2004, Amazon approached us about selling on their marketplace platform. That concept was relatively new in 2004. There were very few people on Amazon selling on its marketplace, and there were very few marketplaces out there. We had reservations about doing it, but it also provided an alternate sales channel for us to sell on. So we did sign up in 2004. At the time, there was almost nobody selling fishing tackle on Amazon, so we were kind of uniquely positioned. They had approached us because of the range of products that we had. I guess I didn't probably realize it at the time that some of our competitors probably turned them down, but we were relatively new at the time. And at that time, Amazon wasn't a direct competitor of ours. They weren't selling in our space. As you may know, as Amazon's marketplace grew, many other major retailers, whether brick and mortar or online only, moved into the marketplace segment. Now you have Walmart. Walmart.com has a marketplace. Newegg, Best Buy, Buy.com, and there's many others. And by marketplace, I just mean you can sell your products basically on their platform. We ended up at the heyday selling on 4 different platforms in addition to our own. Amazon Canada, which is really a separate entity, separate website, separate processes, actually even required that we have a Canadian bank account to accept payment because the payment went into Canada. We sold on Amazon Canada, Newegg, and Sears. That's our lousy looking website on Amazon, really towards the end before we totally pulled the plug on it. So we were managing orders really on 5 different sites, 5 different platforms. We had our own and then 4 others. Everyone had its own rules, its own policies, and because of the way we do things, we had to integrate into 4 different platforms and manage those integrations. A lot of people look at the marketplaces as an alternate sales channel, and of course if you talk to them, they're never going to tell you any of the downside of doing it, only the upside of it. just keep in mind, the only reason they want you on their site is for their benefit. It's clearly not for yours. When you think about the Amazon model in their marketplace, it really is a great idea for them. If you think about how it actually works for them, you take the risk, you buy the product. If you do well, you're giving them customers. The people who buy on Amazon are Amazon's customers, not yours. You're just shipping the order for them. Amazon makes that very clear. They're not your customers. You can't market to them, only they can. They're getting their email address. You're not allowed to treat them as your customer. So you do well, you're helping them get customers, and they're making money off everything you sell. If you do poorly, it doesn't really matter to them. You took the risk with the product. Anytime they want, they can knock you out of the buy box and take over. It doesn't really matter. They won't tell you what the algorithm is that puts you at the top of the list. That's their proprietary algorithm. It's their platform. They can do anything they want. They can underprice you if they're competing against you. If you're crazy enough to go lower than them in price, they don't care. You can lose money, you sell it, you take a loss. They still made money on a commission on your sale. And while all this is happening, what are you doing? You're giving them your sales data. You're telling them what you're selling. You're showing them what sells for you and what doesn't, what your pricing structure is. Information you never give to any of your other competitors. Remember too, most consumers don't understand the marketplace concept and how it all works. They think they're buying from Amazon or Sears. They don't. It's kind of a horribly confusing model for the consumer, and they don't understand for the most part how it works. They go on Amazon, put it in their cart, they buy it, shows up with somebody else's name on it. They never put it all together. They think they bought it from Amazon. So in 2013, we decided that maybe this really isn't a good idea, that we should back away from all of these. And there's essentially, I think, 10 reasons why we pulled away from all the marketplaces. Number one was what we could sell was almost entirely unpredictable. And it's unpredictable because you don't control what sells and what doesn't. Especially with Amazon, they won't tell you what the algorithm is. You could have a product that's selling like crazy one holiday season, next holiday season, nothing. And whether it's a competitor, whether they're selling it themselves, whether they're just pushing another product, it's hard to pin down what's happening because you're not controlling it. For us, that made it very difficult to predict what to do for the next season because we know what our store's doing, but it's very hard to predict what's going to happen on any marketplace. That made it very difficult for us. We'd order in all this product because it sold last time, and then all of a sudden it shuts off on the marketplaces. Now you got too much product. Then you look at your sales history, and you can't, it's hard, at least for us, to pull apart what did we sell, what sold on the marketplace, because the predictability of selling on the marketplace is much more variable than on our own site. So it really distorted our sales history having these marketplace sales. Number two, their orders, the marketplace orders would conflict with our own orders in fulfillment time. When we're really busy, what do they want? They want you to send their orders first. And they are their orders. They're their customers. They want them first. You don't do what they say. They may downgrade you or end up shutting you off. And started to think to myself, what are we doing? Why in the world would we ever not ship orders to our own customers to take care of somebody like Amazon's customers? Number three, the third reason, we were spending a lot of time working on their platforms. This is their technology. So we have 4 different systems that we're integrated into. Anytime they want, anytime they decide they're going to change some requirement on their platform, we had to react to it. So instead of spending our programming time building functionality into our own website that we would own, we're reacting to what they're doing, and it ended up taking quite a bit of time working on their changes. So instead of having your own vision of your own plan of what you want to do from a development standpoint, you get thrown off every time they make a change that you have to react to. This took me a while to come to the realization that it was happening, but the marketplaces will compete against you in search, both in pay-per-click and in organic search ranking. So we'd put a unique product, we'd put it in our store. We'd put it into our feed, we'd put it in like Google Shopping, and then you'd look in search results, and there it is on our product on Amazon ahead of us. And either in organic search or in pay-per-click, they're now trying to outbid us on our very own product. I thought, what are we doing? If we just take it off the marketplaces, we'd be the only one there. No one would be competing against us. We were losing exclusivity on the unique products that we had. We had certain products that you could only find on our website. We then put them on the marketplace. Next thing you know, people think, well, geez, you can also get it at Amazon. We're losing competitive advantage that we had in having the product only on our own site. Number 6, the marketplaces grew and grew. More and more people ended up competing against us. Your ability to sell on the marketplaces dwindles as more and more people push it. There's always some crazy out there who's going to sell it for almost nothing, and so it got harder and harder for us to sell. Now on Amazon, practically anybody can sell. You don't even have to pretend you're a real person. You can hide behind some fake name. You know, there are wholesalers selling, there are people selling out of their garages. Number 7, it was generating revenue, but is it really profitable? And that's how they'll always market. You can generate revenue. Sure, we can generate revenue easily in the online world by spending a lot of money and pushing out advertising, but you're not going to make any money doing that. Not in the long term. Number 8, you're not building long-term customers or value. You're not building long-term value because you're totally dependent. All those sales are totally dependent on somebody else. And you're not gaining customers. So from a long-term value standpoint, all you're doing is turning product over. You're not gaining customers of your own. Number 9, you're causing brand dilution and confusion. If you want, why is it that the big guys don't sell on the marketplaces? One of the reasons is it's confusing. It's confusing their brand. They have their store. They don't want people confused about where their store is. And that's what we sell. Why are we selling fishing tackle on Newegg? Is our store on Amazon, or is our store our website? Plus, you can't manage your brand as effectively when it's on a platform that you don't own. So once we pulled back, we have complete control over our own brand identity. And finally, Amazon moved into the marketplace selling fishing tackle directly, the exact same products we were selling. So I guess it just dawned on me, this is crazy. We're selling our products, they're taking a cut, we're giving them all our data, and they're competing against us. Thank you very much.